Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
We begin tonight with a grim update out of our nation's capital. 67 souls have been declared lost in that midair collision between a regional passenger airplane and an Army helicopter. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. At last update, officials are saying it's now a recovery mission. This new perspective we're just getting of the crash was recorded from the terminal at Reagan Airport. That's where the 60-passenger plane from Wichita, Kansas was scheduled to land. That tiny dot to the left of the plane is the Army helicopter. You can see the collision and the fireball it created. Tonight, we've learned some of the victims had worked here in Connecticut.
Yeah, there were at least 14 figure skaters on the American Airlines flight, and 2 of them were well known here in Simsbury. Fox 61's Matt Karen went to the International Skating Center of Connecticut in Simsbury to learn more.
For decades, the International Skating Center here in Simsbury has been a training ground for figure skaters famous across the globe, athletes who have even taken their talents to the Olympics. They're a close-knit community on this day gripped with grief.
Horrific tragedy.
That's how professionals of the skating community are describing the fiery midair collision Wednesday night between an American Airlines jet and a U.S. Army helicopter. The crash at Ronald Reagan National Airport in D.C. is presumed to have killed 67 souls. Exactly what happened is still unclear.
We need to take our time to make sure it is accurate. That's best for you. That's important for the families. It's important for legislators who are seeking answers to try to figure out what they're going to do about this. And so it will take time. We do have a lot of information, but we need some time to verify that.
Among those aboard, professional figure skaters, their families, and their coaches.
This will have long-reaching impacts for our skating community.
Coaches like Evgenia Shishkova and Vadim Naumov.
The 2 coaches, Evgenia Shishkova and Vadim Naumov, top coaches. They were the 1994 World Pair Champions, and they came to us in 2017.
Prior to their time at the Skating Club of Boston, the pair was well known inside the International Skating Center of Connecticut in Simsbury. Owner Kelly Beckinsale didn't want to go on camera, but sent Fox 61 a statement that reads in part, "We are heartbroken by the tragedy that has impacted our skating community. The community is small, yet incredibly strong. Our hearts are broken as we process this devastating loss and uncertainty surrounding those involved in the tragedy. Many of those aboard were not only training partners, fellow coaches and colleagues, but also dear friends and members of our extended skating family." The ISCC allowed Fox 61 inside to get video of their facility, home to both an Olympic and NHL-sized ice rink. On this day of grief, the Simsbury police stopped by with comfort dog Clifton.
Hi, good boy. Hello. Hello, good boy.
I did speak with the owners of the International Skating Center off camera. They told me they're still working to gather more information about exactly what happened and wrap their head around this tragic event. They would be willing to share more remembrances in the days ahead. Reporting in Simsbury, Matt Karen, Fox 61.
This is the country's worst air disaster in nearly a quarter century.
And in Connecticut, the aviation community is reacting. Fox 61's Jim Altman has more from Windsor Locks.
And from the capital to Connecticut, this tragic air crash has brought thoughts and prayers from the flying community here in Connecticut. And some of them are giving insights about just what happens next with the investigation. A tragedy in the sky outside the nation's capital. The midair collision between a Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines jet. 67 people have been killed.
You have those feelings of dread, when something like this happens.
And closer to home, the crash is the talk of the aviation community in Connecticut. Phil Smith is the owner of the flight school Learn to Fly CT. Lindsay Rutka is the owner of the Hartford Jet Center. He's both a plane and helicopter pilot. Both are based at Brainerd Airport.
This hits home, especially being a helicopter pilot in fixed wing. Just it brings you more of awareness and so forth. So we've been getting texts and messages and talking to other people in the aviation community.
When it comes to safety, you have air traffic control looking out for all the aircraft. We also have GPS transponders that show air traffic control exactly where we are. And then you also have, captain and first officer. So you have eyeballs looking outside. It's a very simple concept. It's called see and avoid.
Mac Schmitter spent 32 years with the FAA as a safety inspector.
That was part of our tasking, was to investigate aircraft accidents.
We met him at the New England Air Museum in Windsor Locks, where he's a volunteer. You have been on scenes like this in your 30-plus year career.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. One of the first things you learn in an investigation is not to prejudge, not to jump to conclusions, and you try to get as much information as you can.
They say the key this early on is not to speculate, but to investigate.
Sometimes we're in this instant information age kind of thing. People want to know everything right now, and it's not going to happen.
It'll be a lengthy investigation. I would say at least probably a year until the NTSB releases their final report, when then we'll actually have some answers to everything.
In Windsor Locks, Jim Altman, Fox 61.
The Army helicopter involved in this collision was manufactured by Sikorsky here in Stratford, Connecticut. It's still not clear, though, how it managed to occupy the same airspace as the American airline flight. But Connecticut lawmakers who know that flight path well say they won't rest until the investigation turns over some answers.
The thought that collision could ever happen is terrifying. And for the loss of life and the families that experience this, it's unimaginable, and heart goes out to them, and we're certainly going to do everything we can, particularly also on the House Armed Services Committee, because it obviously involved the Army helicopter, to really get some answers about how this could possibly have happened.
Representative Courtney also says it's unusual a training flight was conducted so late at night, so close to the airport.
Fox 61 is committed to reporting the latest on this tragic crash. We'll have more updates on the news at 10 and 11 tonight. Until then, there is much more on fox61.com, the free Fox 61 News app, and streaming anytime for free on Fox 61 Plus.
We have a weather impact alert for you tonight as we track snow in our forecast.
And meteorologist Deshaun Robinson is here with more on the winter weather advisory here in our state. Deshaun.
Hey guys, yes, we're tracking a little bit of snow, but mainly ice for tomorrow morning. We have that winter weather advisory in effect for Litchfield County and the northern parts of New Haven County, as a glaze of ice is possible between 6 and 10 a.m. Afterwards, we will be dealing with plain old rain. So right now, here is tomorrow's system. The system is spreading periods of rain across the central parts of the country, and we do expect these showers to push into our area for tomorrow morning. So it is still mostly sunny across much of the state. Clouds are beginning to increase from the southeast, and these clouds will continue to increase as the evening moves along. So mostly dry for tonight. Temperatures will warm up after midnight, and again, clouds will continue to increase as the night moves along. Tomorrow, walk with those umbrellas. Rain showers are in the forecast throughout the day. There will be some periods of rain, especially during the afternoon. So icy spots are possible during the morning where temperatures are at or below freezing. Afterwards, plain old rain for the remainder of the day. After tomorrow's rain, drier conditions move in for Saturday, and it will be a pleasant one. I'll have more on the forecast in my full forecast. Back to you.
Thank you, Deshaun. Well, bird flu may have made its way to the Beardsley Zoo in Bridgeport. The zoo says it got a preliminary report of bird flu in a dead goose on zoo grounds. And because of that, the farmyard and outdoor aviary are temporarily closed, and access to birds is strictly limited to staff.
Eversource and Avangrid are launching a lawsuit against Connecticut's Public Utility Regulatory Authority, better known as PURA. The companies accused Chairwoman Marissa Gillette of making 300 decisions without getting a vote from other commissioners. They argue that violates state laws and led to inconsistent rulings that hurt their operations. But State Senator Norm Needleman, who chairs the legislature's Energy and Tech Committee, calls this a blatant money grab. In a statement, he tells Fox 61 the regulators they're suing here are representing the interests of Connecticut ratepayers in the face of the utility's unending pursuit of more profits. We've reached out to Eversource and PURA for comment.
Well, new tonight, a local fire department's putting in new technology it hopes will make the route safer when responding to calls.
Yeah, the device sends a notification to drivers when an emergency vehicle is near. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson is in Wallingford with how it works.
Sometimes emergency vehicles come out of nowhere, and because of that, it can be hard to know when to move out of their way. That's why in Wallingford, the fire department is installing a new technology that can send an alert to your car or to your phone. Lights, sirens, and horns. First responders are equipped with all three to alert drivers on the road. But as Fire Chief James Buck describes, sometimes it's not enough.
So you see the trends nationwide, and Connecticut is no different, with injuries and fatalities for responders who are operating on our roadways. And it's really a dangerous place for us to operate.
That's why town leaders hope to immediately address this problem.
You're probably familiar with the public safety announcements, slow down, move over. And that's what we want motorists to do.
With a new device called the Safety Cloud, first responders can now stress road safety even more. As soon as they turn on their lights, an alert is sent to drivers' dashboards or phones to let them know a fire truck is passing through or a crash is up ahead.
It'll give them an alert, says emergency vehicle ahead, and it does so automatically. The operator doesn't need to do anything other than when we turn on our emergency lights. It provides that additional safety to our motorists in the area so that they are aware, they can slow down sooner, and possibly even avoid the situation entirely.
Mayor Vincent Cervoni says the device takes advantage of how much technology is used in our daily lives.
We are all driving around paying attention to our handheld devices. You know, if it's not mounted on your dashboard, it's plugged into your dashboard to the screen on your dashboard. People are already paying attention to these devices, often to their distraction. We're going to turn the distraction into an important alert.
According to the manufacturer, HAAS Alert, the device currently works with Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Volkswagen cars, and Apple Maps and Waze navigation apps. In Wallingford, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.